Okay, so I'm going to share my screen in a second. I made some slides. I'm actually super excited about it. I talked to Stephanie, who's also hosting the call with me, and she made slides. So I was like, okay, wait, I have to come correct since I'm sure hers are going to be amazing. So I'm excited to share them with you guys. I literally did it in like 20 minutes and it was fun. And I honestly think I'm going to save the slides and even share it like with all the new girls because I think it's so important. Obviously, we're talking about social media and your brand, which I do believe go hand in hand, right? But I'm going to be touching base a little more on the social media end, and then Stephanie's going to dive deeper into the branding part. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Yep. Okay. So the first part, it's like a little video here, social media. So we'll dive right in. So here, you guys, this over here to the right is my actual screenshot of my social media page, my Instagram. So you guys can reference whenever I speak. So number one, I wrote this quote here. The goal shouldn't be to be liked, but to add value. Okay. And I think there's two important things here. I wrote them down. And in order to not only grow your following, but keep your following and not lose followers, right? I think there's two super important things. One, they need to be able to learn something from you. Okay. Because you guys have to put yourself in the shoes. If you're searching on Instagram, if you're not gaining anything from somebody's page, you're probably more than likely not going to follow them, right? So make sure you're educating your audience, obviously with reels, videos, lives, your stories. And how are you guys going to educate? Well, you have to put in play. We do, have this online business. So maybe you can show how to use your products or post before and afters, maybe, and show what products you use to achieve those results, right? If you want to do something that has nothing to do with your business, you can maybe post like how to cook a dish, or some of you, are very stylish and maybe you want to post, an outfit or maybe how to just style your hair, but just make sure you are teaching your audience something. Okay. The second thing, which I think is equally as important, if not more, they need to be inspired by you. Okay. Your social media presence needs to inspire somebody. They need to feel heard. Maybe you might motivate them. It's to strike an emotion. And I have truly believed that that is something that not only has gained me a following, but had people join my business. I'll tell you a little backstory. 99% of the people that I've personally enrolled with Monat, I always ask, how did you find me? Why did you follow me? Or why did you join me? And the word that comes up very often is inspire, that I inspired them. So I had to take a long look at that and kind of understand, well, how am I inspiring you? Because at first, when that was told to me, I didn't understand because I was just showing up, right? But that was my answer. I was showing up. And it is inspiring to other people when you show up daily. So, I put the quote here, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Well, naturally, by default, I show up consistently with my workouts. I show up on social media. And you guys, it's very important to show up no matter what you're going through. And I'm talking about if you're heartbroken, if you're lost, if you're broke, whatever the case may be, whenever you're going through something, I want you guys to understand that's when you build that grit that you need to sustain this business. And so to inspire somebody, no matter what you're going through, if you want to be vulnerable and actually share your story, which I know that's hard for a lot of us, but in order to inspire someone, the main thing here is you have to strike an emotion. And in order to do that, they have to feel like they want a part of who you are, or they want to follow your footsteps. Okay. So those two things, make sure we are doing things to inspire people, educating people. And you can ask yourself before you post anything on your story, on your reels, on your videos, is this inspiring? Like, would this inspire me? Or would this teach me something? Okay, so that'll help you guys if you ever question what you're going to post. Secondly, so I love this part. Obviously, we are an online business, so first impressions are everything, and our social media is our business card. We're online, so that's what we have to use as our business card. So here I want you guys to see, I broke it down. This is my actual bio on my social media. And so hopefully this gives you guys an idea, but I wrote down here kind of things you might want to base it off of. So who are you, right? Something in your bio, you want to say a little bit about who you are. Me, I have my flags. You know, I'm Filipina, I'm British. So that I do a couple things on TV that's helped me grow my following. So I make sure I put that. What do you do? I have my own fitness business. So I make sure I click a link there, helping build empires from my phone, and I tag my team name, right? So these are all things that show, you know, who you are, what do you do? Because it's a first impression, remember? And that also will help with you with a following. If people go to your bio and it's kind of like there's nothing there, that also can make somebody just veer away. And then another important thing is, how can they reach you, right? We live in a world where people are scared to reach out, or people might not know how to reach out, basically. So here I put a link, and when you click this link, I have not only my fitness on there for them to shop my fitness, I have my hair quiz, I have my skin quiz, my work with me application. And if you don't know, I'll read off some of the apps that I use if you guys are taking notes. And that's how you can get together and do this. If you need help, obviously this is my social media here. You can reach out to me and I'll help you do it, to combine these quizzes or applications. So I use Canva, Mojo, and then Milkshake is, there's different ones out there, but Milkshake is one to combine it and actually give you one link just like this. I also use Jotform for my application and my quizzes. And then Lightroom is what I use to kind of filter and add, like, try to make the aesthetic of my page kind of match. So that's what you want your bio to be, okay? Remember, ask yourself these questions, and that's what should be in your bio. Second most important thing with social media, your pinned photos or videos on the top, right? Again, like I said, first impressions are everything. So these, you want to kind of say who you are. And remember, we show up on social media not for ourselves, but for other people, right? To add value to other people. So make sure these 3 things you pin on top, if all else fails and they don't look at anything else and they just click the 3, they need to know what you're about. Right? So for me, for example, the first pinned thing I have on my Instagram is about my business, right? It shows a little bit about what we do. The second one, I said, show your brand. So obviously it's just, this is a video, the foot on the basketball, but it's me at a basketball game. I love going to games. It's something I've done for so many years, and it's just part of who I am and what I love doing in my pastime. So I have that there, because you also want to mix it up and not be all business, right? Like, some of it can be fun, and then I'll get into that in a second. And then the third one here, maybe you can post like an accomplishment, or and that can be, if it's hair care, maybe like your hair growth, or, you know, whatever it is that you are proud of, but post an accomplishment. Here, this is when I earned my Cadillac and my kids got to be in it with me. So there's an example for that. First impressions are everything. Okay, so this one, I know we've heard it time and time again, the 80-20 rule. When it comes to social media, you guys, I can't explain enough. I love when people tell me, what is it you do? I don't really know what you do. That's the whole point. Okay, because what is that called? Curiosity marketing. People can't you know, you don't want someone to just join or look and see and oh, you just do everything hair. Maybe they're not interested in that. And in our business, we know there's more than just hair care. There's the community, there's the money, there's the trips. There's so much more to it. So you don't want to short yourself and just post all the business. So the 80-20 rule. So here, 80% needs to be who you are, your brand, right? So what is that? Your interest, your title, are you a mother? Your hobbies, your daily activities. So here, these are actual photos that I've posted on my Instagram that have nothing to do with Monat. So I love going to the gym, right? So me in the gym, me with my children, I love traveling. Again, I said I love going to games. So these are just examples. And obviously, you know, Steph will talk a little deeper into like branding, but find your niche and just who you are truly, and don't be afraid of who you are, because you're amazing to whoever you are. And it doesn't have to be fancy things, but make sure you're not just talking about Monat. So the 20%, which I love, this little picture here, it was actually already in the thing. I didn't find that, but 20% should be the business. Why? Because Monat is just a part of us, right? It's not all of us, and it should never be. You got to leave room for imagination. And something I put here, keyword every day. What I mean by that is 80-20 rule goes to say, this is how you need to post every day, 80-20. So for example, today, I might post 2 things about my life, my kids' graduation, me in the gym, and then I might post something about the business. 80-20, but I mean daily. Why? Because imagine if I did 80-20, like broke it down in the week. So I would post the business or the sale we had one day, and then 5 days out of the week, I'll post just me. That's not cutting it, okay? So I say 80-20 because that 20% is the business, and we need to be posting about it every single day. So let this 80-20 rule apply to you every single day. I think that's very important. And the next one, this was so fun making this slide. No, speaking on camera, you guys, I can't stress this part enough. People need to know that you are human. I know it sounds crazy. There's so much AI nowadays that people can have pages, and if they're not on there talking, be careful, because it might not even be them. I have specifically gone across pages and saw like maybe someone who dressed so nice, and I was just so curious. In order to follow them, I'm like, I wonder like how they are though. And they have nothing where they're talking. They're not speaking. So like they're just a picture. And for me, you know, we have to be relatable to people, especially in our business. You know, people have to, if they either they want to be like you, they want to, how does it go? They either want to be like you, they like you, they trust you, all those things. But you can't gain any of that if you are not speaking on your social media. Take it from me, the number one anxiety-driven human. I've overcome so much anxiety, and speaking on my story did not come easy. It's still not easy. Showing up and doing this call is still not easy. You know, like I was getting stressed out like 10 minutes before the call because I'm like, oh my gosh, I might not be prepared. But you still got to do it. Okay. So and remember, we're all on this call for a reason. We want to be successful. So take these things and these slides so serious. Showing up, speaking on your camera, speaking on your story, do a live and save it. Who really cares? Because the people who care don't matter, right? And then the people who actually just want whatever we have to offer, those are the people who matter. And then this part here, I love this little quote. It's said by me. Make people feel like they have access to you. I think that's super important because I've also done cold reach outs and had specifically people say to me, oh my gosh, I was scared to reach out to you. And that's not a good feeling. That's definitely not my goal in this business. I want people to feel like they can relate to me. I want them to feel like they can reach out to me. And so make people feel like they can have access to you, I think is a really good thing to try to remember. And in order to do that, we have to be a people person. We have to speak on camera, be real, be raw, and just show yourself. But yeah, so those are my slides. Let me stop sharing my screen and hand it over to Steph so she can talk to you guys more in depth on the branding side. Are you unmuted, Steph?
I am now.
Okay, let me make you host though. 1 second. Actually, how do I make you host? Do you know?
No, I do not.
Okay. Actually, I think I know. Let me go to participants.
Oh, right by next to my name, there's
Okay.
an option that says make host.
There you go. Got it. Okay, your host.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you, Michelle. That was amazing. And yes, I do have a little slide just to keep myself put together because if I don't prep for this, then I'm just like all over the place. And I want to give you as much value in the next 15-20 minutes. And so we are talking about social media and personal branding. So we're gonna go ahead, or I'm gonna go ahead and dive right into it. Who am I? For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Stephanie, and I've been in the business for 4.5 years. And by the pictures that you're going to see today, you can kind of guess where I work my business from. I live in New Mexico. New Mexico is home. And when I started my business, I was completely clueless. Okay, completely clueless. I had less than 500 followers on Instagram. I didn't really think of myself as a brand. I was basically monkey seeing, monkey doing. And I didn't know why. And I'm sure many of you feel the same way right now. And I'm here to tell you, you are not alone. Okay. So in the chat, drop a 1 if you feel clueless at this point. And drop a 2 if you don't think of yourself as a brand. I'm going to repeat that again. Drop a 1 in the chat if you're feeling clueless at this point, or drop a 2 if you don't think of yourself as a brand. All right, awesome. Okay, so here's a truth bomb. Everyone has a personal brand, whether they like it or not. Who's Jaina? I'm going to mute you. Sorry. Okay, so everyone has a personal brand, whether they like it or not. And it's up to you to share your story. You have one of the fanciest cameras in the world, okay, which is your iPhone, your Android. And now you have access to platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads that are completely free. You already go to work, you cook, you do your hobbies, you go to dinner with the girls, you already do all those things. So you already have the world's fanciest camera, right? Your phone, and you have access to free platforms. So what is your excuse? Make content about your real life and document it all. People crave realness. So I encourage you I'm encouraged to encourage you to lean into your God-given transformation. Think about your life in the past year and how much you've grown, how much you've changed, and how much insight you have today. Maybe you have had something major in your life happen. Maybe you moved. Maybe you started a new hobby. Maybe you started a new relationship. Maybe you're like me who ended a relationship. I mean, I can bet that we all have had multiple transformations just in the past 12 months. So when it comes to personal branding, transformation is everything. We must show up. We must show that we're evolving all the time. When you show that you're transforming and when you show that you have learned something new, people begin to trust you. If I go onto your Instagram page and you're exactly the same way that you were 2 years ago as far as content, to me, that is stagnant because it shows that you're not growing, you're not evolving. I think you should show your dopest transformation. If you go onto my Instagram page, you can see my transformation. You can see my highest of highs and my lowest of lows. I'm taking people into a journey. It's because I know what is required to be relevant and to be seen. People want to follow people who are actually doing something. They want to follow people that aren't just talking, but are also walking. This is an opportunity for you to lean into your transformation. And maybe your intuition is pulling you towards change and you're thinking of creative ideas, but you can't seem to put them all together. You must put them together. And here's why. Because now there's more people on social media than there's ever been. But if you don't showcase what you have to offer, and it's not just the copy and paste culture, you will be left behind very quickly because consumers demand relevancy and relatability. Okay, I'm going to repeat that again. Consumers demand relevancy and relatability. And if you're not showing up for that, if you're not showing that side of you, you will get left behind. So if you're not showing your transformation, they cannot relate to you. You cannot be aspirational. So I encourage you to showcase your transformation. I encourage you to share what you're learning, to share your faith if that's what you want to share, because the copy and paste culture will work in the beginning, but it's not going to take you far. You got to go deeper. So think of someone that you've been following for years. I bet they transformed, right? So someone that I like to follow and I've been following for as long as I've been doing the business is Joe Siegel. I'm sure everyone here follows Joe. Joe is someone that, you know, if I go back 4.5 years ago, she was sharing her first marriage, right? Then she shared about her divorce. Then she shared her life as a single parent, parenting Mateo. Then she shared, you know, that she met Eric and how she got married and now motherhood, right? So she's brought me onto her journey. And even though I'm not a mother yet, there are many other things in her life that I can relate to because she's brought me on her journey, right? And I'm sure there's other Money Market partners who are so good at storytelling and bringing you onto this journey. But I'm here to tell you, if you're not showing every single part of your life and how you've transformed over the years or even over the months, you're leaving so much on the table. And if you follow someone that has stayed the same, like really tell me, how exciting is it to go on their page and read their post if they stayed exactly the same? People want to get something from you. They want to learn from you. They want to laugh if you're a comedic person. They want to be inspired. They want to get an idea from you. They want to be entertained. So if you never show the real you or your transformation, you're missing out. Release the past and lean into the new you. Your personal journey transfers to your brand professionally. When you have a personal brand, you are building a personal connection with those that we serve, which is our community. If I don't know you, I don't want to buy from you. If all I'm seeing is images, I'm not going to buy from you. If the only time you ever get on social media is to promote what you have to sell, the flash sales or the market partner opportunity when there's a coupon involved, I'm not gonna trust you. Lots of people are trying to build personal brands without sharing about their lives. Gone are the days where you can just post products and make a ton of sales. Okay, so tonight, I want to challenge every single one of you on tonight's call, whether it's immediately after this call or before you go to bed. Take a notebook out and write how you've transformed in the last 6 months, push it back in the last 12 years. I'm sorry, 12 months. Every day there is a new lesson that you're learning. So ask yourself, what value do you want to bring to the marketplace? This is strategic transformation. If you feel stagnant, it's time to come out of the closet and own your space. Those that become alive and create great content and showcase what they have to offer, those are the people that are going to win. And I'm a woman that will control what I can control. And I know I can control my personal brand in terms of what I put out there and how I serve and to what level. This is how you attract and how you become a magnet for those that you are meant to serve, which is your community. So I want you to think about how you've transformed and have you articulated it. I know plenty of people who show up every day on social media and they look exactly the same. They sound exactly the same. Therefore, they're attracting the same people because they're telling the same story over and over and over again. So if you don't show the real you, you're never going to get teammates, clientele, your personal brand in the depths. And if you're not saying, I mean, and I'm not saying for you to like show every single part of your personal life, right? But I am asking to show more of your transformation. So your personal brand is the new resume. You got to have a digital footprint and showcase who you are. This should include your strengths, your skills, your values, key characteristics. Consider what it is that sets you apart from the rest of the market partners. Why? Because at the end of the day, we all sell shampoo. We all offer the same business opportunity. So why should a potential consider you against the next person? Ultimately, your brand, your personal brand will. All right, so visual branding and design. This includes your logos, your colors, typography, your style, your photos. If yours looks all over the place, if your Instagram looks all over the place and it's not neat, it's not consistent, it's not elevated, especially if you're trying to portray yourself as a business person, you go into the bucket of you're not taking yourself seriously. If you're someone that's trying to build a business, a podcast, trying to speak, but I go onto your page and there's zero consistency and it's all over the place, it looks like a garage sale to me. And to be honest, I don't want to buy my wedding dress from a garage sale. I want to buy it from a place that is cohesive. And this might sound a little harsh, but take my brutal honesty and take it with grace because I'm really speaking to the person who wants to make money online, who wants to advance their career online, who wants to elevate, who wants to be ultra successful. Now, if you use social media to just update your friends and family, clearly this call isn't going to sit well with you. This is for the person who wants to make money from their personal brand. All right. So why is that so important? Because it helps you build a strong and memorable identity when you see the same logo. It becomes memorable. Think of brands like Nike, Adidas, McDonald's. Those logos are memorable. When you think of personal brands like Tony Robbins, it's memorable. There's a fueling behind his brand. And I can go on and on about people in the space, but because of time, I'm just gonna take a quick turn. That's why when people say it doesn't matter, just create content. You're creating content, yes, but you're also missing out on going the extra mile by having it be memorable. And that's why developing a consistent visual identity is important. This includes your logo, your colors, your typography, your pictures, your style. This is brand recognition. For example, Michelle and I had very different presentations, right? I can tell that just by looking at her presentation, her color is black and white, right? Like that, those are her brand colors. Just by literally, like if I go onto her Instagram page, I can kind of get a feel for what Michelle's personality is and what her brand is, just simply because of her choice in colors and her choice in presets, right? Same with me. If you go onto my Instagram page and I have titles on my story, I like hot pink. So hot pink is my brand color, right? So when you have a well-designed visual identity, it helps customers recognize and associate your brand with your products and services. So sometimes there's popular quotes on Instagram that fly around and I'm like, oh, that's from this content creator or from this author. Why? Because it's memorable. Like my brain automatically knows who created that because I see it over and over and over again. So it also creates brand consistency. When you have a consistent use of visual elements, it reinforces brand recognition. It builds trust with customers and ultimately it leads to emotional connection. All right, so we're going to dive into some 4 elements of a strong brand. Number 1 is storytelling. Who were you before Monat? Where are you today? We're about to enter mid-year, the 6th month of the year. Like, where do you want to be at the end of the year, right? Like all of that, you can start creating a story around that. It allows you to showcase your unique story, your values, and experiences in a compelling and memorable way. You'll build a strong connection with your target audience and establish trust and credibility. There's a book that I read not too long ago, and it's so good. It's called Building a Story Brand. This is by Donald Miller. He teaches us how to use stories to improve on how to connect with customers and grow. So the book is called Building a Story Brand, and this is by Donald Miller. Number 2, authenticity. This helps you build more relationships. People are naturally drawn to those they perceive as genuine and relatable, okay? You want to be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. Don't try to speak like somebody else, because people are going to read through you. And on that note, people can also sense BS and desperation, right? And you are unique. You are you. God so beautifully created you. So step into that. Be your best authentic self and show up as her. Number 3, consistency. Consistency is essential because it helps establish your brand identity, build trust, recognition with your audience, and create a professional and polished image. Okay, just like Michelle said, show up every day. Show up every day using the 80-20 method. 80% personal, 20% business, but show up every single day. That's going to create trust with your target audience. Number 4, value. What makes you unique and valuable in the eyes of your target audience? This is basically the sum of your skills, experiences, expertise, and your personality. That is your value. Again, at the end of the day, we all sell shampoo. We all have the same business opportunity. So why should people sign up with you versus the person next to you? This is going to be a sum of those 4 things: your storytelling, your authenticity, your consistency, and more important, your value, right? And then lastly, just short, straight to the point, keep your blinkers on. Now more than ever, there are so many opportunities as far as business or affiliate programs where you can make money online that isn't Monat, right? But I'm here to tell you that you will never be successful in all the things until you become successful in one and build a brand around that. And I'll tell you what, when I saw this opportunity, it was a no-brainer for me. There was a huge opportunity in hair care because there's so much need for it. So rather than sell a product, a bottle of shampoo, I saw my problem, which was severe hair loss and my damaged hair strands. So I started to sell my story, tell my story over and over and over again until I got my first customer. And over time, right, I've grown my client base by sharing my story. It's not so much selling the green bottle of shampoo. It's what can this solve? What problem can this product solve? So think about your hair. Think about how your skin was before Monat. As far as me, I knew my hair was a problem and I couldn't see myself working corporate until my retirement age, right? I was overworked, underpaid, and micromanaged, right? So I kept telling my story about working corporate over and over and over again until eventually I was able to build a team, right? And so now I'm so confident in who I am as a brand and what I have to offer as a brand that wherever I go, I am certain my audience will come with me. And if I want to post about a cheesecake, if I want to post about my bubbly sparkling water, people are going to ask because I'm constantly talking about my story, Monat, how the products transform my hair. So I already have their trust. So I know now whatever else I want to throw in when I'm using the 80%, because I'm not always talking about Monat, people are going to trust in what it is that I have to offer, not always selling, but sharing, right? And so that's just basically what I have for you. I don't know, Michelle, if you want to add more to today's call? Do I make you host?
I
you
can
can unmute
unmute
your-
myself. That's fine. No, I loved it. That was amazing. Like I said in the beginning, social media and your brand, they go hand in hand. So hopefully, you guys got a lot of value in that. I did. I learned so much from you. That was so many gems in there. So thank you. But thanks for having me on the call, and then also Mariana for putting this whole series together. But yeah, unless anybody has any questions, you can put it in the chat. If not, I think we're good.
Awesome. All right, Michelle, thank you so much for doing this with me. And as Astrid said, yes, you are so inspirational, girl. I look up to you, and it's always a blast working together.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Bye, guys.
All righty. Bye.